great people. Slow down.
Also, I have not gotten any new cuts from you today. Is that correct?
Yeah, I think that's actually correct.
Okay, sounds good.
We're cutless.
Hello, everybody. Thanks for tuning in for Thursday's Todd Allbaugh Show, brand new edition, live from Shawano in the driveway. Bucky Badger watching as ever in the background, waiting for his time to strike.
On Bucky's birthday, as a matter of fact.
That is true. We got about 30 seconds till we kick off today's show.
Gracias.
On location, it's the Todd Allbaugh Show. And now, pursuing truth wherever it may lead, here's your host, Todd Allbaugh.
Across Wisconsin on the Civic Media Radio Network and streaming worldwide on the Civic Media app. Good afternoon, everybody. Todd here, live from Shawano, Wisconsin, along with our producer and engineer, Mr. Aaron Zommers, on the board back at the old world headquarters down at downtown Madison, Wisconsin, at the intersection of State and Fairchild. It is a beautiful day here in Shawano, Wisconsin, just west of Green Bay. It is Thursday, the 2nd of October, 2025. It is a great day to be a Wisconsinite. We welcome you in, everybody. Glad to have you along. Zommers, it's beautiful here. Not a cloud in the sky. Blue skies here in Shawano. Some of the leaves are turning beautiful oranges right across the street, but you would not like where I'm at right now because it is right in the sun and a little warm. I think, particularly for you, Zommers.
Oh, I believe it. It's pretty nice here in Madison for most people. For me, a little warm, but it's not too bad. And it is very bright. Definitely a sunglasses day.
I'm wearing the sunglasses for those watching on YouTube, Facebook, and what else we got? Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. There we go. Thank you very much. Twix, that's right. I'm wearing the sunglasses. Got the Green Bay Packer polo shirt on because you're in Packer country. Anywhere in Wisconsin is Packer country, but in particular here, just a bit outside the Fox Valley to mix my sports. Yeah, exactly. But it's beautiful here. And speaking of that, we're going to hear Mike Clemens has a couple of cuts for us here from the Green Bay Packers head coach Matt LaFleur. Going to hear from Danny O'Neill, Badger quarterback, and Jake Bowers from the Milwaukee Brewers as they are getting ready to get into the Divisional Championship Series on Saturday. You can hear that on select stations across the Civic Media Radio Network, and as Letterman says, I hope one of your stations has been selected. If you're wondering what time the Brewers play on Saturday, that is TBD. That's short for time to be determined. So still waiting to hear that because later on this afternoon, I think at 4 o'clock, down at AmFam Field South, better known as Wrigley Field in Chicago, the Cubs taking on the Padres in the rubber match. As they say, Game 3, winner takes all. The Cubs and the Padres are tied up at 1 game apiece in the 3-game series. And so whoever wins this afternoon will head north to Milwaukee to take on the Brewers on Saturday in the first game of the NLDS, the divisional series. So looking forward to that on Saturday. So we'll hear those clips that Clemens provided us a little bit later on in the show. Also in hour 2, it's a What's Worse for today regarding beef and a fish product. A fish product that I never heard of until it popped up in the category. Zommers will school me on that in hour 2. Also, don't forget, only 2 more days left for the Green and Gold Text to Win contest, your chance to win fabulous cash and prizes. That coming up in hour 2. So download, if you don't have it already, the Civic Media app on your Apple or Android device, because that is the only way that you can enter. So we'll give you a keyword in hour 2 to win in the green and gold
contest.
Thank you. The multi-state contest. Yes, as a matter of fact. And we may have some surprises here before the end of the show. Some surprise guest appearances. I honestly don't know whether it's one of those kind of shows. All right, so just buckle in, be prepared for anything, as we are, and you never know who's going to stop by here in the parents' driveway here. Lovely Shawano up here. As the late, great Bob Uecker used to say, it's getaway day today. And so immediately after our show today, we'll be headed on the road back down to the old world headquarters in Madison. Been up here for a couple of days. Dad is in full recovery, I can tell you, after his little oral surgery. And he's already taken laps around the neighborhood. He's feeling great. So we're going to be, yes, thank you very much. Going to be getting out of here. Thanks for all the well wishes that people sent along. Lots and lots of news to get to today. David Cross, the comedian, he is slamming Bill Burr, fellow comedian, actor, and other comedians for performing for the Crown Prince of Saudi Arabia in Riyadh. We'll talk a little bit about that. Also, didn't think this is going to happen necessarily. Some members the Wisconsin Republican Party in the legislature are now trying to legalize medical weed, medical marijuana. We'll tell you about that. YouTube joins the long list of corporate media companies paying off Donald Trump. Essentially, YouTube agrees to pay $24.5 million to settle a Trump lawsuit. Also, with the government shutdown happening in Washington, D.C., as Donald Trump, the Republicans continue not to want to pass a bill to keep the government running. And so here's some news you can use, such as, can I still get a passport? We'll talk about that a little bit later on as well. Here, just behind us, if you're watching on the stream, by the way, the video just over my shoulder is our Bucky Badger that was gifted to us out in California by our friend Kelly Call, and we take it on location wherever we can. Bucky Badger, as you heard earlier perhaps in the news break, his birthday is today, so we might talk a little bit about Bucky Badger's birthday. And I want to spend some time on this story in this first hour. Big story, in my opinion, that should be bigger. Down in Chicago last night, there was a raid by ICE and Homeland Security on an apartment complex. Not making a lot of news. And so
yes, Todd, in the parents' driveway, it seems Elon Musk is cracking down a bit. Okay,
we went down for a bit. We're back. This is Elon Musk. See, once I started talking about Trump lawsuits, Elon shuts off the satellite. Are we back, Sommers?
Yes.
All right, very good. So we got that. And then we're going to talk about this ICE raid in Chicago last night on an apartment complex, which is not getting the coverage that I think it deserves. Number one, it's disturbing from a legal standpoint, but equally as disturbing, quite frankly, to me, is the lack of coverage this story is getting, in particular by national media. ABC News 7, if you didn't hear, is all over this in Chicago, but the national media pretty silent on it. So I want to spend time on this ICE raid in Chicago. But first, closer to home, in the state of Wisconsin, we have governor news in the race for Wisconsin's governor 2026.
Tommy, can you hear me? Can you feel me near you? Tommy, can you see me? Can I help to cheer you? Ooh, Tommy.
That's right, Tommy Thompson, former four-time elected governor of the state of Wisconsin, according to the Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel this afternoon, seriously considering another run in 2026. I kid you not. According to the Journal-Sentinel, one of the state's most popular governors is considering taking another shot at running for his old office. Tommy Thompson, who is governor between 1987 and 2001, said this week he is, quote, seriously considering, unquote, joining the 2026 Republican primary for governor. Quote, I'm still looking at it, and I'm seriously looking at it, unquote. Thompson, age 83, said in an interview on WTMJ, quote, so that's what goes into it, but no decision has been made. But it's certainly something that is not too far removed from my brain, unquote, Thompson said. Thompson did not return phone calls from the Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel. Earlier this year, Thompson downplayed the idea to the Journal-Sentinel, but noted he's still, quote, in great shape, unquote. If elected, Tommy Thompson would be 85. Let me say it again. If elected, Tommy Thompson would be 85 when he would take office in January of 2027. He was elected governor 4 times, served as President George W. Bush's health secretary. In more recent years, Thompson served as the president of the University of Wisconsin, then known as the UW system, leading the consolidation of universities through coronavirus's pandemic. He stepped down from that position in 2022. Thompson also considered launching a new campaign for governor in 2022, a decision-making process that included paying a visit and politically genuflecting, in my opinion, as I add that in, editorializing, to Donald Trump down at Mar-a-Lago when the president was between his 2 terms. A bid for governor by Thompson would scramble the Republican primary field that has already been disrupted by an abrupt departure by Whitefish Bay Manufacturing CEO Bill, don't read my social media, Berrien, Washington County Executive Josh Shulman, and U.S. Representative Tom Tiffany are the only major Republican candidates in the field currently. This is news. TMJ Journal-Sentinel reporting this, that former Governor Thompson, I don't know. I mean, first of all, 85 years old is what he would be if he won and if he got sworn into office when he went into office. Think of that. The guy would be 90 years old after he would finish another term if he made it that long.
Yeah, that's just crazy to me, especially like age is such a huge thing in American politics right now, and that's pushing it farther than it has been.
Look, I mean, I saw the former governor, at the Republican National Convention last year, and I mean, he looked great, looked fantastic. I've seen him on other news things. I know people that have visited him at the farm in Elroy. You know, seems to have all of his faculties and doing well, but I think it's hard when Donald Trump and Republicans like Ron Johnson attacked Joe Biden for running at age 83, and now you're going to have, Tommy Thompson potentially not being sworn in until he's 85.
Right.
Look, what?
Even if he has all his faculties right now, once you're at that age, it's a sad reality that you don't know how long that will last.
Yeah. I just think that when you make it a point politically to attack the other side for running candidates that are too old at 83, right, tough to make the argument that, being 85, you're going to make it. And as far as politically goes. Now, I've learned over the years, never count Tommy Thompson out. You do that at your own detriment. Nobody is a better retail politician and knows Wisconsin better than Tommy Thompson. But don't forget, he also lost a race to Tammy Baldwin for U.S. Senate. And she ran a great race against him, and he fell into his own trap. I mean, that great motto that, Tommy Thompson isn't the same guy you remember anymore. And largely, unfortunately, I think that's true in terms of his politics. And if Tommy Thompson was a governor back in the 90s, that would be a refreshing change of Republican politics to run like that. But I fear that he will run as a Trumponian MAGA Republican in order to get the nomination should he throw his hat into the ring. Look, he was a great Secretary of Health and Human Services. I think he did a great job as president of the UW system. Certainly got a lot of play for his work during the coronavirus pandemic. But governor, enjoy your time at Elroy. Go ride a tractor and leave the politics to other people right now. We'll come back, talk about ice raids in Chicago, an important story. Don't let to miss it. Stay with us. It's the Allbaugh Show on location on the Civic Media Radio Network.
Tommy.
Students, government, lakes, and WMDX.
Get ready, Madison. Elsa's Own Jarocho is now open on Plaza Drive. 5-star authentic Mexican cuisine. Fresh, homemade, and the best prices in town. See why one review said, best tacos I've ever had in my life. Elsa's Own Jarocho. You won't leave hungry, just happy.
Now is the moment we've been waiting for. With new treatments emerging in the fight against Alzheimer's and all other dementia, now is the time for hope and for action. Held in over 600 communities nationwide, the Alzheimer's Association Walk to End Alzheimer's is the world's largest fundraiser for care, support, and research to fight the disease. So get out, get moving, and join WMDX at the Walk to End Alzheimer's on Sunday, October 5th at Warner Park in Madison. Join the movement at alz.org/walk.
Get ready to go for the green and gold on this local Civic Media radio station. Listen each weekday for the keywords to text for your chance to win our daily prize, $200 cash and gold jewelry. And be entered to win our grand prize, 2 indoor club level seats to see the green and gold take on Minnesota in Green Bay. Just download our free Civic Media app and listen weekdays at 7, 9, 11, 1, 3, 5, and 7 for your
BJ,
chance
yes,
to
Todd
win
did
in
camp
our
in the driveway
multi-state
overnight.
contest.
Yes,
For
that's
full
true.
rules, go to
Just right here.
civicmedia.us.
Madison Vegan Fest is just around the corner.
Yesterday, I don't remember who, I think it was Cam in Appleton who texted in, like, the neighbors calling in a wellness check because this guy's yelling to himself at a table in the driveway.
Probably the people going by, yeah.
Vegan Fest is the perfect opportunity to explore plant-based foods and learn a bit more about why folks are making the switch. From fresh food to fun goods and informed speakers, spend your Saturday exploring this fan-favorite festival. WMDX Madison is proud to be a presenting sponsor of Vegan Fest 2025. See you there.
My name's John Driscoll, proud member of the Patriotic Millionaires. When I was CEO at CareCentrix, I doubled entry-level.
Gracias.
The impact, productivity.
Pursuing truth wherever it may lead and having fun doing it. Welcome back to the Todd Allbaugh Show, live on location from Shawano, Wisconsin, just west of Green Bay. Hear a lot of you. If you come out here late at night, not late, but later in the evening, here in Shawano, Wisconsin, and it's a beautiful, beautiful, clear. You can see the stars, and you hear the crickets chirping, and if you listen carefully, you can hear rabid Packer fans just outside of Lambeau Field chanting, "Go Pack, go! Go Pack, go!" By the way, we should say, I think starting tomorrow, we'll have details on this a little bit later. Our friends over at the movie, at the new Sean Hanish and Paul Jacoby Berry, who are on the show here last week, Zommers, their new film on Packers, the Packer movie, I think they go on sale tomorrow. So we'll remind you and give you details on that great new Packer film as well.
You can check that out at nopackersnolife.com.
Thank you. NoPackersNoLife.com. Opening up later on this month. We're going to bring you more details as that gets closer. So exciting to be here in northeastern Wisconsin during Packer football season. Want to go a little bit further south than Green Bay and spend a little time on this. I know it's in Chicago. I know it's in Illinois there. But I think it's important that we talk about this and this great reporting by the local ABC affiliate Channel 7 Eyewitness News out of Chicago. Many of you know I try to consume different national media broadcasts, in particular, fan of CBS This Morning. And I watched they have this thing in the beginning of the show called The Eye Opener, Your World in 90 Seconds. And this story did not make a mention. Now, in fairness, did I see every second of CBS This Morning? No, I did not. But I can't imagine that they put this story in between there was a story that ran today on Taylor Swift, and God love Taylor Swift. But I'm going to read part of this story, which I don't read a lot of stuff, I don't think anymore, but I'm going to read part of this because I think it's important, and I don't want to get it wrong. And the story itself is disturbing from a legal perspective, from a constitutional, from an American rights perspective. But I find it equally disturbing in these times that our national media is shying away, or at least apparently shying away from these sorts of stories. It's my feeling that if this had happened under a Barack Obama administration, a George W. Bush administration, a Bill Clinton administration, that the national media would have been they would have had national reporters in downtown Chicago or in this neighborhood where this happened. It'd be the top headline. And now, after Jimmy Kimmel was taken off the air for a while, and the Trump administration and Sean Miller within the Trump administration, these other people bullying national media corporations, suddenly stories like this just don't get talked about. So I'm going to start this here a little bit, and we'll come back and finish it up after the farm news. Headline: ICE agents raid South Shore apartments. Trump says Chicago could become military training ground. Dateline: Chicago, immigrants and customs enforcement agents raided a South Shore apartment building overnight as the city braces for a possible military deployment. Residents and neighbors are speaking out about what they call a traumatic event. Quote, "My building is shaking. So I'm like, what is this? Then I look out the window. It's a Black Hawk helicopter," unquote, said witness Dr. Ali Muhammad. I'm going to stop right there. The federal government brought in Black Hawk helicopters to raid an apartment building in Chicago. I mean, if that doesn't grab your attention, I don't know what does. Back to this story by ABC 7 in Chicago. Wednesday morning, i.e. yesterday morning, DHS officials said in a statement, quote, "In the early morning hours of September 30th, 2025, allied federal law enforcement agencies with the CBP, FBI, and ATF executed an enforcement operation in Chicago's South Shore area, a location known to be frequented by Tren de Aragua members and their associates. Some of the targeted subjects are believed to be involved in drug trafficking and distribution, weapons crimes, and immigration violations," unquote. Again, that from Department of Homeland Security. The agency said 37 people were arrested. ABC 7 spoke to one woman who lives in the building. She said ICE agents took everyone in the building, including her, and asked questions later. Quote, "They just treated us like we were nothing," unquote. Fisher, the woman's name, said she came out to the hallway of her apartment complex on the corner of 75th and South Shore Drive in her nightgown around 10 o'clock on Monday, only to find armed ICE agents yelling, "Police." She said, quote, "It was scary because I have never had a gun in my face," unquote. "They asked my name and my date of birth and asked and asked me, did I have any warrants? And I told them no, I didn't." Fisher said she was handcuffed before being released about 3 a.m. And she was also told that if anyone had any kind of warrant out there for them, even if it was unrelated to immigration, they would not be released. Fisher said, quote, they like piling up all of us on the backs of the other side, and there wasn't any room to move nowhere. Direct quote, obviously, unquote. She was shaken up. She wasn't worried about grammatical, English at the time. Back to the story quickly. Citizenship application video captured the chaotic scene, and neighbors say there were dozens of ICE agents. What do you make of this? ICE raiding a building in Chicago, an apartment building with Black Hawk helicopters. Give us your opinion. 855-752-4842. 855-752-4842. We'll come back, discuss it, take your phone calls after this. Stay tuned now. Pam Yankee, the Farm News, is next on Civic Media.
92.7 WMDX. Smarter than your average
Christopher in Beaver Dam texts in saying, seeing as we're in a government shutdown, are ICE agents still getting paid?
Yes. Well, I shouldn't say that. They're still working,
Dairy Expo
obviously.
Truly is
I don't know that they're getting
Wisconsin's
paid.
time to shine as America's Dairyland. It's the meeting place for the global dairy industry. The State Department of Agriculture, Trade, and Consumer Protection also gets
And we
involved
also
as
have
it welcomes
Charles in Milwaukee
international
on the
delegates
line.
to the state
All right,
to
thank
further
you.
relationships between dairy sectors. I'm Stephanie Hoff, along with you here on the Midwest Farm Report. We're checking in with DATCAP Secretary Randy Romansky after the break.
Unique farming operations need unique financial solutions.
So yeah,
Ag
Charles,
Country Farm
we will
Credit
bring you on
Services
once we're back.
offers customized financing that fits any size farm, ranch, or agribusiness. The next time you're in the market for more
Also,
land,
Ollie,
equipment,
Thanks.
facilities, or maybe even an operating loan,
I'll send
contact
messages
the
to
team
you
All
at
right, thanks.
Ag
if you
Country.
want. Yeah.
I saw those show up in the chat. Just it's easier when we're not doing the text to win stuff. But,
Yeah, that's true.
but-
Okay, so yeah, they're in
no,
the chat.
but it's fine to give me double information.
Wisconsin
Thank you.
Department of Agriculture, Trade, and Consumer Protection Secretary Randy Romansky tells us about the international connections made here in Wisconsin at World Dairy Expo.
We had 5 groups come into DATCAP yesterday from Central Asia, Turkey, Uzbekistan, Kazakhstan,
Yeah, I guess
Armenia.
I would say
5 groups in yesterday.
rely more on the
Morocco's gonna
ones
be
that
here
I've
this
sent
week, which
because
is
sometimes
great.
people pop
We
on the
actually
phone
did a
lines
trade
and the calls
mission
don't
to
actually stay.
Morocco from
Okay.
DATCAP.
It doesn't
Thank
happen
you.
a lot, but
As a
it
result
does
of that,
happen.
Established some communication, some relationships, invited people here, and they're going to be here. And that's very exciting that we see that kind of turnaround. But there are always delegations here from Central and South America, Southeast Asia. Delegations will be coming through, all with a great way of showcasing Wisconsin dairy and making those connections for Wisconsin farmers and businesses.
Secretary Randy Romansky along with us. I've got more agribusiness news on the way.
At Channel, we always show up for our farmers.
Is that tar spot or rust?
Incoming!
Definitely rust.
Rick, how did you? Dropping in to check on your crop, Bill. Let's call your agronomist before that rust
This is
can hurt
crazy.
your
Like
yield.
you said, I can't
Great.
believe that this
When
is
did you
just,
learn to
you know, local
skydive?
affiliate.
I know.
Stop, Bill. Kind of a
No, nothing
prodigy.
to see here.
From personalized insights to year-round support, Channel Seed Pros always show up. Visit channel.com to learn
And
more.
what some of the
Channel, all
agents
in, all
allegedly
season.
said about the
Weeded farm,
kids and
pesticide
stuff,
labeled
just
right.
like,
Grain marketing and other
man.
stewardship practices.
Wisconsin really took the cake during the International Guernsey shows at World Dairy Expo. Cadence Farms Lovely was the winning 6-year-old and older cow. She was named Grand Champion and Senior Champion of the International Guernsey Show. Lovely belongs to Cadence Farms of New Glarus. In the International Junior Guernsey Show, New Glarus was in the spotlight again as natives Brittany Taylor and Layla Schuler exhibited the Grand Champion and Intermediate Champion Donnybrook Ammo Stevie, the top of the senior 3-year-old cow class.
also have
From
Dick and
World
Madison.
Dairy Expo
Thank
at the
you.
Alliant Energy Center in Madison, I'm Stephanie Hoff.
Madison, Wisconsin. More lakes, more bikes, lively politics with 92.7 WMDX.
I'm meteorologist Rodney Price. A mostly sunny sky here for our Thursday afternoon. A southerly breeze and highs in the lower 80s. Tonight, nice and mild, lower 60s with mostly clear skies. Friday promises to be warmer with sunshine and upper 80s could tie some records. Currently 77 degrees.
Hey there, Wisconsin. Tom Hartman here. Democracy is not a spectator sport, so join me each and every weekday right here on Civic Media for the Tom Hartman program from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m.
Luke
Covering the
just
news
told
of the
me
day and
he just heard
sharing
from
ways for
Clemens,
you to get off the sidelines
and
get active in your community.
he is free right now, but this doesn't, like,
Get involved in
Like
two
now?
weeks of the Tom Hartman
apparently,
program,
but that doesn't
Monday through
seem...
Friday from 11
Yeah,
a.m.
just
to
say
2 p.m.
thanks, but no,
right
I
here
can't.
on
I
your
can't stop
local
this
Civic
now.
Media.
I mean, it's
Yeah,
just,
exactly.
it's going to seem. It's just. Can you
this is Robert
text
Powers,
Luke
Native
back
Roots
and
Radio.
say
On our
thanks,
show,
but no
we share
thanks. I can't
stories
do
from
it now.
Turtle Island, highlighting the people and issues shaping our communities. From protecting water to treaty rights and preserving languages and traditions, we cover it all. Hear voices like Arena Martin of Emerge, Wisconsin, Dr. Stately, Robert Lilligren, and more. Because Native issues are human issues, and human issues are Native issues.
Native Roots Radio, weeknights at 8 on your local Civic Media
Right, about
radio
15
station.
seconds.
Thank you. Pursuing truth wherever it may lead and having fun doing it. Welcome back to the Todd Allbaugh Show on the Civic Media Radio Network. We are live on location in beautiful Shawano, Wisconsin, just west of Green Bay. Got the Green Bay Packers shirt on. Pack have a bye this week, kind of trying to recover from a couple of tough losses. We'll got a couple of clips from the great Mike Clemens, Matt LaFleur in particular. We'll talk about that a little bit later on in the show. Also, we've got the green and gold text to win contest in hour 2 and what's worse. That's the fun side of having fun doing it. But pursuing truth wherever it may lead here at 35 minutes past the hour of 2 o'clock is this story, this great reporting by ABC affiliate in Chicago, Eyewitness News, Channel 7 in Chicago. The story is disturbing, in my opinion, but also the lack of national media attention. And I think it gives us here in Wisconsin pause for concern on a couple of different levels. For some people listening to this program right now in southern Wisconsin, what I'm talking about here, this raid by Department of Homeland Security this week on an apartment building in Chicago using a Black Hawk helicopter, amongst other things, happened less than 2 hours away from you. And if you don't think that this could happen in the near future in downtown Milwaukee or other places in Wisconsin, you're sadly mistaken. Number 2 is my concern for the lack of reporting by major, at least up until now, trusted news organizations like CBS News. And let me make clear, there are some great reporters at CBS News Radio, at CBS Television, great people doing great work. These, in my opinion, these types of decisions not to cover these types of stories are made by producers and executives who are being pressured by the Trump administration not to report these types of things, in my opinion. So let's set it up again. I know we got phone calls, 855-752-4842, 855-752-4842. Do not hang up, as our friend Matt Flynn likes to say. We see you on the lines. Going to get to that in a minute, but I just want to reset this. So this is in Chicago, south side of Chicago, this week, about 10 p.m., Black Hawk helicopter and armored vehicles and an FBI, ICE agents, Department of Homeland Security descend on an apartment building. Without allegedly showing warrants, just start rounding everybody up out of their doors. And people are understandably shaken. A little bit more of the story from Eyewitness News, Channel 7, ABC in Chicago, and then to the phone lines. It says Citizen app video captured the chaotic scene, and neighbors say there were dozens of ICE agents. Quote, this is from Alicia Brooks, one of the residents. Quote, as I got to my unit, i.e. apartment building, to stick my key in the door, I was grabbed by an officer. And I said, what's going on? What's going on? He never actually told me. He said I was being detained, said Alicia Brooks. Neighbors like Ebony Watson say they ducked for cover as they heard several flash bangs. Quote, they were terrified. The kids were crying. People were screaming. They looked very distraught. I was out there crying when I saw a little girl come around the corner because they were bringing the kids down too. had zip-tied the kids to each other, Watson said. That's all I kept asking. Where is the morality? Where is the human? One of them, the agents, literally laughed. He was standing right here. He said, and I have to edit it for radio, F them kids, unquote. Watson said trucks and military-style vans were used to separate parents from their children. Other neighbors said agents destroyed property to get into the building. They had a big 15-inch chainsaw with round blades on it, cutting the fence down, said witness Daryl Ballard. We're under siege. We're being invaded by our own military. This happened in Chicago. To think that it's not going to come to Wisconsin is simply naive, in my opinion. There's more to the story. We're going to get to it here by this great reporting from Channel 7. But why is this not making national headlines? Why is this not the top news story right now? I think, unfortunately, too many of us know. 855-752-4842. 855-752-4842. Let's go to Charles in Milwaukee, listening on WAUK. Charles, thanks for holding on. What say you?
Hey, good afternoon, Todd. Todd, I am sick of everything this administration is doing. There is nothing positive that came into this man being back into office. For all this sycophants that wants to say, oh, we're glad he's back in, there's nothing positive about him being back in. This is all hateful things. My wife had said something about a helicopter in Chicago, and I said, no. I said, that didn't happen. And come to find out, this really did happen.
Yeah.
I am sick to my stomach. If they're not lying about something, they're claiming they care about kids. They're covering up, releasing the Epstein files, knowing that it was pedophiles out there raping little girls that could probably still be doing the same thing to other little girls. There is nothing positive about this administration. So when conservatives call and or talk whatever on news space, whatever, and say, oh, this is the greatest thing ever that he's back in office and he's doing what he said he was going to do, just because he said he was going to do what he said he was going to do does not make it right. And when you don't have Republicans to speak out and say this is not okay, then you have to believe that they're okay with what he's doing.
But Charles,
part of this is,
go ahead.
I know, Todd, that I'm not trying to paint everybody with a broad brush, but you have to speak out against this. You can't say you're a friend with somebody of color and not speak out against the horrific things that this administration, not only are they doing, but what they're saying about people of color.
Agreed,
this
Charles.
Is all about
Agreed.
Angry, upset.
But I'm sorry, I'm just trying to get. We got a bunch of calls there to make sure everybody has a chance. But before I let you go, but I think of all the important things you said, one stuck out. That you're. I mean, and we don't know. We never met, but you call into the show. I know you listen. I consider you an informed person. And correct me if I'm wrong, but your wife brought this up, and you said, no, that can't be real. Look, you're an informed person, and you didn't even necessarily know about this. And so when you talk about that folks on the right, conservatives, are saying, well, that didn't happen, think about it. You're someone who listens to, I'm assuming, a variety of news. You didn't know about it. Yeah. Now think of someone who lives in a news silo. And so those folks, they earnestly and honestly believe that this is a lie because they never hear about it. And I think that's the challenge we are up against.
Yeah.
And again, I agree with everything you said. I'm just saying that's what blows me away is that this is not being reported by major news sources, and so it makes all of our jobs to find connection that much more difficult. Agree or disagree?
Right. Agree. But you hit it also, Todd, when you said that they're probably scared to say something because he is attacking
the news media. Yeah.
Media.
Well,
yeah.
I just think, look, I mean, I think those of us who have the privilege and the honor of having a microphone have to speak up and tell the truth in these times. And that's why I'm proud to work for a company that stands behind us on that. Charles, I appreciate your call as always. 855-752-4842, talking about this incident in more than an incident, a raid on a Chicago apartment building on the south side by Homeland Security using Black Hawk helicopters, amongst other things. Ollie in the North Woods. Ollie, thanks for calling. What say you?
I say this is outrageous. I grew up in the 50s in Germany, and we had many German friends and heard the horror stories and know how the Gestapo just broke into buildings and homes in the middle of the night and took people. And this is exactly what's happening here in the United States. And people need to wake up, and people need to speak up. And we can't allow this to happen. Everybody needs to know about this. And I've been on my phone forwarding this information to everybody I know because I think it's important that people know about this. And we can't agree with this. We have to speak out.
Yeah.
It's horrid.
And I think you're doing exactly the right thing, Ollie. I appreciate what you're doing because you're helping other people understand. And we can all do something. Doesn't matter whether we're able to get out and about. Doesn't matter whether we can give money to a cause. We can all do something. And informing our friends, our family about the truth, voting, all these things do empower us. But I hear the fear and the concern in your voice. When I read this, I had the same reaction as a child. I'm like, is this real? And it turns out, yes. But thank God we still have great reporters in Chicago like ABC7. We have the privilege of this network across Wisconsin. And we have great folks like you, Ollie. So don't give up hope because the more we speak out, the louder our voices are together. Thanks, Ollie. I appreciate you. Thank you very much. 855-752-4842. Let's go quickly to Dick in Madison on WMDX. Dick, thanks for calling. What say you?
Didn't know about it either, but I'm going to say something that probably some will say is controversial about the agency ICE itself and these $50,000 bonuses when you take. First of all, I look at them as nothing more than a modern-day bounty hunters, especially the ones that insist on covering their face while doing this. Mm-hmm. And that's all they are in my mind, and I'm going to bet when it's all sorted out, too, here's something that a lot of people disagree with me about. I don't care. I bet you're going to find out many of these people that took the $50,000 are the type of cops that were badge heavy in the beginning and had problems in the departments they worked for.
Yeah, well, I like any other vocation, as someone who supports law enforcement, but like any other vocation, you're always going to have a few bad apples in the bunch. And I think you're probably right, Dick. The wrong folks are taking these jobs.
Yep, I really think so. True law enforcement people would stay in their jobs and do it the right way.
Yeah. Well, much like the generals and flag officers out in Virginia this week who never applauded for Trump, who never applauded for Hegseth, and found what they said to the military deplorable.
And it was.
Yeah, it was.
And
Thanks.
They haven't continued with that long enough either.
Yeah,
if that would have been
agree.
Joe Biden or anybody else, can you imagine?
No, I can't. Thanks, I appreciate it. 855-752-4842. Let's go quickly to Mount Horeb, Troy. And Mount Horeb listening on WMDX Troy. If you can do it quickly, please go ahead.
Just pretty much echoing what everybody else said. I'd been listening to or watching CNN for an hour after I got home from work yesterday, and they hadn't mentioned a thing about this, and my wife told me about it, and I'm like, no, that can't be true. I would have seen it by now.
Yeah.
And so I looked it up on my phone and I found it. And I'm like, why wasn't this on the news while I'm watching it right now?
Yeah. Appreciate it, Troy. Thanks so much. Appreciate it. We've got it here. We'll continue talking about this major story in Chicago after this on the Civic Media Radio Network.
Reach, engage, grow with Civic Media. Log on civicmedia.us/advertise.
Is violent crime in the U.S. higher than 25 years ago? No. Violent crime is lower nationally and in major cities than 25 years ago, according to FBI and Justice Department data. In 2023, cities with 250,000 or more people reported 771 violent crimes per 100,000 residents, down from 1,093 in 2000. Nationally, violent crime has stayed below 400 incidents per 100,000 residents for a decade, compared to about 500 in the late 1990s. Pew Research reported a 49% drop in violent crime, which includes murder, rape, robbery, and aggravated assault since 1993. I'm Trisha Young for Wisconsin Watch. Fact Briefs are bite-sized fact checks of trending claims produced by Wisconsin Watch and GigaFact. Read more at wisconsinwatch.org.
Living in the shadow of the Capitol Dome means we take our democracy seriously. And our fun even more seriously. From State Street shenanigans to lakefront leisure, Madison marches to its own drum.
I just sent
And
this
so
story
does
to some
92.7
friends and family
WMD.
back in Manitowoc, and they said, yeah,
We
did you
are
hear
the
actually the other
soundtrack to
week,
your beautifully
they pulled up at the
complicated
Walmart
Wisconsin life.
parking lot in
Real news,
Manitowoc at some farmhands getting ready for work and disappeared them.
92.7
Yeah,
WMDX.
it's happening.
It's happening everywhere.
You're listening to the American Democracy Minute, keeping your government by and for the people. September 16th, Maine and Oregon were the first to be sued by the Trump Department of Justice for refusing to provide voter data to be shared within federal agencies. 6 more states have been sued, and it could be a good thing. September 25th, DOJ rolled out complaints for Pennsylvania, Michigan, California, Minnesota, New Hampshire, and New York. In August, Pennsylvania Secretary of State Al Schmidt, a Republican, told DOJ, your letter dated August 14 specifically asked for detailed personal and confidential information, including driver's license numbers and social security numbers
Bucky fell
for
over.
all Pennsylvania
Yeah, I
voters.
see that. Thank you.
We still
I'll
have
try
a
to do
minute.
an hour or
Concerted
two.
efforts to collect
Okay, gotcha.
broad data on millions of Americans represent a concerning attempt to expand the federal government's role in our country's electoral process, unquote. States have loudly reminded DOJ that the states and Congress are empowered by the U.S. Constitution for election oversight, not the federal government, and that the requests violate both state and federal privacy statutes. Writing in Election Law blog, Professor of Law
30
at
seconds.
LMU
Thank you.
Loyola Law School, Justin Levitt, writes that the DOJ...
Pursuing truth wherever it may lead and having fun doing it. Welcome back to the Todd Allbaugh Show on the Civic Media Radio Network. We are live on location in beautiful Shawano, Wisconsin, as the sun starts to go a little bit lower in the sky here. Some beautiful pumpkins courtesy of my stepmom, Mary, in her lovely garden behind me here. We're going to get into some lighter news, some fun, some green and gold text to win trivia in hour number 2. But I want to take more time just to... I think this is an important story that is going vastly underreported. Going to take some phone calls as well, 855-752-4842, 855-752-4842. This is courtesy of ABC 7 Eyewitness News. Thank goodness for great local reporting in Chicagoland, because the national news media, in my opinion, much of it now afraid, under threat from the Trump administration for their licenses, are simply not reporting this. And to sum it up, on Monday night, around 10 o'clock, Homeland Security with FBI agents and others, ICE, descended upon an apartment complex in the south side of Chicago. They used Black Hawk helicopters on a residential apartment building, amongst other equipment, claiming that there was Tren de la Agua gang members in this building. And that justified this complete overuse of force. Reportedly, allegedly, the law enforcement did not show warrants to enter these, that broke down doors, cut through using big 15-inch saw blades, essentially attacked a residential American apartment complex in Chicago. This was a chilling comment in this eyewitness news report, Channel 7 ABC in Chicago. Quote, Marlene Sanders' boyfriend was detained, Sanders said. Quote, they had the black people in one van and the immigrants in another van, Sanders said. They had the black people in one van and the immigrants in another van. I've hung out with a lot of folks that weren't, quote unquote, born in the United States. I'm not sure how you can identify a quote unquote immigrant by their pigment of their skin. Never knew that was possible before. Of course, we all know it's not. And to round up and separate people by the pigment of their skin, put in vans, using zip tie to tie children together and separating them from their parents and putting them in vans by the United States military or by government agents and ICE and Department of Homeland Security in the United States of America. Back to this story. The FBI confirmed on Tuesday morning that they were helping U.S. Border Patrol carry out targeted immigration enforcement operations in the area, adding that they have been supporting these efforts at the U.S. Attorney General's direction. Destruction was left behind inside the apartment complex with doors blown off their hinges and holes left in the walls. Immigrant advocates and elected officials gathered to condemn the overnight enforcement. 855-752-4842. Let's go quickly to Gene in Eau Claire, listening on WCFW, The Tap. Gene, thanks for listening. What say you?
Wow, thank you so much for this information. I mean, now this is my personal opinion, and this is acts of terrorism committed by the President of the United States, in my opinion. Attacking America brutally. Attacking healthcare, education, the economy, everything, utilizing brutality, chaos, lies, and physical attacks. This is outrageous, and everybody needs to share this information with those they love. Say, this is just for your information, because I don't know how much more American can fight back as he gets worse and worse, and he should be taken out of that office. But unfortunately, the people with the R after their name keep making excuses and are okay with this type of behavior. I think it's outrageous, and I hope every American is fired up as I am. Thank you so much for your service to our country there, guys. Appreciate it so much. Thank you.
Thank you, Gene. Appreciate you. And that's, look, I understand this is disturbing news. We talk about this. And I don't come on, I'm trying to present it as calmly as I can and factually without unduly ginning people up. I'm not here to make us scared or feel bad, but I think that we all need to hear the truth. And we all need to hear what's going on in our country. And it's, as I said at the top of this hour, not only is this story that we've talked about, courtesy of ABC Eyewitness News Channel 7 in Chicago, about this raid on a domestic apartment building, not only is that disturbing and scary, what's equally disturbing is the lack of reporting by what's known as legacy or mainstream media. That this wasn't on CBS this morning. That I haven't seen this trending on, and I'm not saying it's not out there somewhere in some national media. One of our callers said, been watching CNN, never heard a thing about it. And as Trigby Olson, our friend from the Lincoln Project, likes to say, if you are a supporter of Donald Trump, think about, what if this happened to your side? What if Joe Biden sent in Black Hawk helicopters to go after somebody in your small town, your next door neighbor? Look, we've all had neighbors we thought, well, what's going on over there, right? That seems like a lot of cars stopping by there late at night. What's going on there? Look, there's always going to be bad actors in every town. People who are dealing drugs or whatever. But do you go in and raid an innocent person's apartment, break down the doors of an innocent person's house without a warrant, without explanation, zip-tie children, separate people by the pigment of their skin with no direct cause other than that there was, bad actors in this neighborhood. Come to a very dangerous point in the United States of America. Have to speak the truth, speak it clearly, and take action at the polls. Back with a lighter hour 2. Don't go anywhere. Your chance to win green and gold cash and prizes. Don't go anywhere. The Todd Allbaugh Show live on location in Shawano, Wisconsin, across Wisconsin on the Civic Media Radio Network.
This is 92.7 WMDX Columbus, Madison's home for real news and
I think it
great
was very,
conversation.
very good to say take action at the polls there.
Yes.
That was
Yes.
good.
Yes.
Good clarification.
ABC News, I'm Michelle Franz, and it's day 2 of the federal government shutdown with 750,000 workers furloughed, many of them working without pay. Democrats say that they are fighting to preserve health care benefits and premiums for millions.
Oh, look at that beautiful shot.
The White House vowing to carry out mass layoffs. ABC's Karen Travers has more on White House reaction.
They don't want to negotiate, and they've been very clear that they're not going to negotiate while the government is shut down. They want to get the government reopened, and according to the press secretary, Caroline Leavitt, then there can be a conversation on the policy issues, but not right now while the government is shut down.
Congress could vote on a stopgap measure tomorrow when they return. In the UK, authorities arrested 2 people and another suspect killed in an attack outside a synagogue today on the Jewish holiday of Yom Kippur. Officials say it began as a car ramming attack and then a knife attack. Hip-hop mogul Sean Diddy Combs will be sentenced tomorrow in New York City on 2 prostitution-related offenses. This is ABC News.
Mad City, biking through blizzards since forever. 92.7 WMDX.
For 92.7 WMDX News, I'm Savannah Tomei Olson. The new county budget will include pay cuts and a hiring freeze. Dane County Executive Melissa Agard released her plan for the budget at a time when the county faces a $31 million deficit. Her office says that's largely due to the growing of county staff. They've added 500 employees since 2017, and the cost of health insurance for all of them has more than doubled. That's all while Dane County's population has surged. We've gained at least 100,000 people over the last 15 years. It's the fastest growing county in Wisconsin. So here's Agard's plan. The total Dane County budget for 2026 is $903 million, which is 3% lower than this year's budget. Agard has asked county staff to reduce their budgets by 4%. She says she's trying to avoid layoffs, so 51 open positions will go unfilled for the next year. There are some exceptions, like critical workers who provide safety services. Nearly 3,000 staffers will have a 1% pay cut. In exchange, they're getting 21 more vacation hours. Agard says her plan increases the tax levy for the average Dane County homeowner by about $15. That's the smallest increase in 6 years. Now, this is all Agard's proposal. It still needs the approval of the Dane County Board. She'll present her plan to supervisors at a meeting October 23rd. Meanwhile, a very important birthday today. Bucky Badger turns 85. The State Journal reports a patent was filed for a drawing of Bucky on October 2nd, 1940. And the Library of Congress deems October 2nd his birthday. Starting in the 1800s, there was a live badger at games, and at one point there was even a raccoon that served as the mascot. But Bucky Badger made his first appearance during the 1949 season, and the rest is history. I'm Savannah Tomei Olson, 92.7 WMDX News.
New faces on the Bucks roster. Hi, I'm Mike Clemens with sports. NBA head coach Doc Rivers revealed that when he first arrived in Milwaukee, he told GM John Horst straight up the Bucks roster was too old and too slow.
John knew, we talked about it. I felt strongly that it's hard to win at the pace that we were trying to play at. We still won games and we were good, but, I just felt strongly that we need more speed. We need more guys that can guard multiple positions.
The Bucks training camp now underway. College football. Wisconsin faces number 20th ranked Michigan. Kickoff 11 a.m. Saturday. Badgers quarterback Danny O'Neal has already been sacked 13 times so far in just the first 4 games of this season. That's one more than the 12 sacks they allowed all last year.
Maybe changing up what we do pre-snap a little bit, trying to simplify some things. We know what we're going to see. We just got to be able to go translate it from the film room to the field and from practice to the game.
That's Badgers quarterback Danny O'Neil with Sports on Mike Clemens.
Catch Farm Report updates throughout the day from the Midwest Farm Report, right here on 92.7 WMDX.
I'm meteorologist Rodney Price. A mostly sunny sky here for our Thursday afternoon. A southerly breeze and highs of the lower 80s. Tonight, nice and mild, lower 60s with
what do you
mostly clear
say?
skies. Friday promises to be warmer with sunshine and
First, I thought you were going,
80s. Could
hey,
tie
hey,
some records.
ho,
It's
ho,
78
it's
in our
off to
studios.
work we go. No, it's hey, ho. Hey, ho, not hey, hey, ho, ho. I think. I don't know. I haven't seen that in a long time.
Oh, those were the days.
And for some reason, they believed him. Yes, those were the days.
Yes.
They eventually called me the Phantom.
The days of easy forgery in high school.
Weekday mornings 6 till 8 on 92.7 WMDX and the Civic Media app. Nightlight with Pete Schwaba.
Actor, writer, and my son, Joe Schwaba. Do you have a favorite one-hit wonder song, Joe?
I don't know. That's not great radio.
30
I'm
seconds.
giving you right now. But,
What does the Fox say? We grew up kind of in the same era, you know?
That's what the Fox says.
Oh, those are terrible
That's
songs.
another one.
I love that.
Whatever.
Nightlight with Pete Schwaba.
25 seconds.
From 6 till 8 on the Civic Media radio station and on the Civic Media app. John Peterson and Gordy.
On location, it's the Todd Allbaugh Show. And now, pursuing truth wherever it may lead, here's your host, Todd Allbaugh.
Across Wisconsin on the Civic Media Radio Network and streaming worldwide on the Civic Media app. Good afternoon, everybody. Todd Allbaugh, along with Mr. Aaron Zommers, our producer and engineer on the board down at the world headquarters in Madison, Wisconsin. We are here on location live in Shawano, Wisconsin, just west of Green Bay. It's a beautiful fall day. We're out here, not a cloud in the sky. Perfect temperature, no humidity. If you're watching on the stream, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and the like, beautiful pumpkin yard back here, courtesy of stepmom Mary and her great gardening prowess. And you got a little Bucky Badger there in the background, courtesy of our friend Kelly Call. Bucky Badger turns 85 today. How about that? Happy birthday, Bucky. Zommers, how are you doing back at the old world headquarters?
Doing well. And you know, Bucky Badger looks great at 85. You know, maybe he could be governor.
That's very true. Nicely done. Yeah, we talked to hour two, former Governor Tommy Thompson, thinking about running for another term at 80. Well, he'd be 85. He's 83, about to be 84. He'd be 85 if he were when he was sworn in, if he were elected. Just my opinion. I think the governor should just retire at the farm in Elroy and live out his remaining days, which I hope are long and fruitful and healthy. But little irony is not lost when it was Republicans who criticized Joe Biden for running for another term as president at 82, 83, and now Tommy Thompson thinking about getting back in the governor's race and being elected at 85. It seems it's just at some point it's just time to move forward. Anyway, big hour this hour. Going to give you a chance to win some fabulous cash and prizes in our text to win contest, so download the Civic Media app for that. Also, what's worse, Zommers is going to school me in fish. We'll talk to you about that a little bit, and maybe some surprises along the way here in hour two as well. So stick around for all of that. I want to get this in quickly because I think this is curious. And, well, I guess we're going to do this one first because the government is still shut down. The federal government is still shut down. And in the first hour, talking about this very important story as reported by ABC Channel 7 in Chicago, not getting a lot of airplay on national media, but thank goodness for ABC 7 in Chicago, talking raid an attack really on an apartment building in south side of Chicago using Black Hawk helicopters and other armored vehicle. One of our listeners texted in and said, "Are these ICE people still getting paid after the government shut down?" Good question. I've been in contact with some people working for the Defense Department, our military folks, and of course, many of these people are deemed essential personnel. They're still having to go to work, but not getting paid, at least for now. If things maintained in the past, which there's no guarantee, in the past when we've had government shutdowns, federal employees who are not getting paid get their back pay once government opens back up. But under a Trump administration, who the heck knows? But here, very quickly, a little news you can use, courtesy of WISN Television in Milwaukee, Channel 12. U.S. congressional lawmakers have failed to agree on a spending package for the new fiscal year, which triggered a federal government shutdown yesterday. Many Americans are wondering how the shutdown will impact travel, and specifically, how will it affect passport applications and driver's license services? So the question is, are passports still being processed? Answer, yes. The U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Service, the agency responsible for overseeing the naturalization process, is primarily funded by application fees, meaning a lapse in funding the federal government has minimal impacts on most passport and visa processing. So that's good. What if I have a passport appointment with the United States Postal Service? Well, the U.S. Postal Service is unaffected by a government shutdown. It's an independent entity funded through the sales of products and services, not by tax dollars. You can still make an appointment for new passport applications, passport renewals, and photo services on the USPS website. So Postal Service, still going on. Another question, courtesy of WISN Channel 12 in Milwaukee. Question, can I still get a driver's license or real ID in the state of Wisconsin? You can still get a driver's license or real ID during a government shutdown. That's because motor vehicle departments are primarily funded and operated by state budgets. That means you could also... What? What'd you say?
I said a little Freudian slip.
Yeah, a little Freudian. This means you could also make an appointment or visit one of your state's driver's license centers to receive a real ID with proper paperwork. The shutdown will not stop Transportation Security Administration, better known as TSA employees, from enforcing the Real ID Act in U.S. airports and other federal facilities. TSA officers are typically deemed essential and must remain on the job, though they are not paid. Not paid. Imagine having to do that work and knowing you're doing it for nothing, at least for right now. And finally, what about visas? Agency spokesperson Matthew Tessinger said in a statement, however, that the shutdown does temporarily shutter the agency's E-Verify program, a free online system that employers can use to confirm their new employees who are authorized to work in the United States. So there's a little bit of news you can use, courtesy of Channel 12, WISN in Milwaukee. We appreciate them doing that reporting. So, yes, you can still get a passport. Yes, the United States Postal Service is still operating. You can get your passport through the USPS. Yes, you can still get a driver's license or real ID. So those things are still going on while Donald Trump, the Republicans in D.C., continue to keep the federal government shuttered. We'll continue to update you on that. It is now 13 minutes past the hour of 3 o'clock. Time once again to play Civic Media's Green and Gold Text to Win multi-state contest. Up for grabs this hour, I should say this day, today, daily prize, $200 cash and gold jewelry. Everybody who enters is entered in for one grand prize, 2 club-level indoor seats to Green Bay versus Minnesota. Green Bay home game, November 23rd, 2025 at 12 noon. Plus a gas card to get you to the game. It has a value of $1,550. Open up the Civic Media app. If you don't have it, download it for free on your Apple or Android device. Open up the app. First 10 stations are the ones that we're on. Choose one of those 10. Once you open it up, the lower right-hand corner, you'll see a little icon that says text. Click on that, and now I'm going to give you today's word to text in. Today's word is club. C-L-U-B. Club. You have until 4 o'clock to text in the word club. Bad people kill baby seals with a club.
Not the direction I thought you were going to go, but it's...
I'm trying to be safe because I can't say certain things with this thing.
That's true.
So I have to think of things that are completely obscure to get my point across so I don't get myself in trouble. The word is club. C-L-U-B. Text the word club. You have until 4 o'clock in Civic Media's green and gold text to win contest. Good luck. Yes, good luck indeed. We're pre-recording these things now. Just make sure that I don't mess anything up.
We're just being careful.
We're being very careful. It's a precautionary action. Club, C-L-U-B, is the word to text in. Oh, speaking of texting, just before we did that, the little green and gold thing, we were talking about things that are open during the government shutdown. One listener, TJ, reminds us that I left out what people care about most. Is the construction continuing on the White House ballroom? The answer, yes. Yes, as a matter of fact, despite people not getting paid, despite government grinding to a halt out in D.C., have no fear. The Donald Trump Lago Melania Special Ballroom is continuing construction in Washington, D.C.
You know, allegedly, I will say, allegedly, Donald Trump does have a history long before being the president of continuing to have people build things for him and then not paying them.
Well, that's true.
This is not new.
That is very, very true. Maybe YouTube is helping to pay for that. We're going to talk about that here in a second. But yes, text the word club, C-L-U-B, on the Civic Media app for the green and gold text to win contest. It is now 16 past the hour of 3 o'clock. Time once again for What's Worse. Let's go.
This or that, this or that. Then, of course, the choice is yours. With this, or you can get with that. You can get with this, or you can get with that.
Time once again for What's Worse. Nothing to give away, no prize money involved for this particular thing. This is very difficult. You understand when we have two things happening at once. But for this segment, separate from the green and gold text to win trivia, for the What's Worse, no prizes. But it is your chance to have your voice heard on all 10 Civic Media News, Talk, and Sports Network stations, as we are live here this afternoon from beautiful Shawano, Wisconsin. All right, Zommers, timely indeed. I'm not sure it really is, but we'll just say that. No, it is, because, people, there's no Packer game. The Packers have a bye this week. And so people are going to be more inclined to go out to eat, maybe, because they don't have to stay home and watch a Packer game. They can go out to eat. Now, today's category, a little different. What's worse, rare beef or sashimi? Sashimi. And when CP put this out, CP writes these, most of them. Occasionally he lets me write one. By rare beef, I like a good rare beef sandwich or like a rare filet. But sashimi, sashimi. Sashimi. Zommers, what the heck is sashimi?
Todd, have you ever had sushi?
Not in the biblical sense, no.
Have you?
Yes, I've tried it. I'm not really a fan. I don't like the seaweed wrap part of it.
Oh, okay.
I like the tempura shrimp.
I do like seaweed. I don't know. Something.
Do you really?
I do. Yeah.
That says it all between you and I.
I was taking that says it all. You said
between you and I that you like seaweed, and I that's a good. We like very different things.
I guess
go
so.
ahead.
Yeah. Anyway, so sushi, raw fish typically, and other things wrapped up in rice and seaweed. Sashimi is just the raw fish, but sliced very thin. and different kinds of fish. And it's very good, in my opinion. It's, high quality. It's got cool colors too, so that's always fun.
All right, so here's what happened.
It's just sliced raw fish.
While Zommers was explaining that, the Elon Musk Starlink satellite took a dump, and so I heard basically nothing of what. But you're telling me it's sushi, essentially a fancy word for sushi.
Well, sushi is a wrap. Sashimi is just raw fish, so it's just
raw fish.
Yep,
Oh,
just sliced raw fish. You often have a sauce with it.
It's raw fish. It's unwrapped. That's what you're telling me.
That's correct.
That is correct. Ding, ding, ding. All right, what's worse, rare beef or sashimi? 855-752-4842. 855-752-4842. There will be no sashimi on the set here in Shawano, but you will be after this. Don't go anywhere. You're listening to the Allbaugh Show on the Civic Media Radio Network. That was hilarious because just as you explained it, it went out, and then you said, and then you came back. It was like, and that's basically it.
Nice. But yeah, it's just thinly sliced raw fish.
Oh, that's funny.
It's good.
But
I mean, if you don't like sushi, you might not like it, but I do like sushi. I don't know.
You really like the. I can't get past the seaweed wrap.
I totally get why some people don't like it, but for whatever reason I do. In high school, I took a Japanese class in the last year our school had it before it got defunded. But for like the culture day, one of my friends and I cooked onigiri, which is basically
onigiri. Is he a pitcher for the Dodgers? Onigiri. Go ahead.
And we just kind of sat there eating some of the seaweed wraps on their own because we're like, this is actually pretty good.
I just give me beef. Where's the beef?
I've never eaten like beef as rare as in this picture, where it is just
probably
pink and
not.
bleeding.
Almost. I have almost. Can we dial up a little Bob Marley for a little legalize it here? We get into the legalized weed
Peter
story.
Tosh, but sure.
Oh, is it? Is it really? I did not know that. Good thing Zommers knows it.
Intimate apparel, bra fittings are everything. Not only how they make you look, but how they make you feel. From bras and sleepwear to swim and lingerie, Allure has it all. Their professionally trained bra fit specialists deliver a discreet, graceful experience that honors every figure. Allure encourages confidence, making elegance feel effortless. Shop Allure in the Hilldale Shopping Center in Madison, where you will discover how fit and confidence go hand in hand. Visit AllureFits.com.
30 seconds.
I like this.
AllureFits.com.
The text we got?
Yeah, that's fantastic.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Had you ever heard of sashimis?
Sashimis?
Oh, I got time for sashimis.
What about sushi? Juicies.
Oh, I got so much time for sushis.
Yeah, just pull it out, hack it up, down the hatch. No, I knows what it is. I just don't think you need to put an S on the end of that word.
Hey, dude.
He's correct.
Welcome back to the Todd Allbaugh Show on the Civic Media Radio Network. We're live on location in Shawano. Zommers is back home at the world headquarters in Madison. We were asking the question, what's worse, rare beef or sashimi? Zommers, where'd that clip come from, speaking of sashimi?
That's from the comedy show Letterkenny about a bunch of Canadian, I guess, rural Canadians, and they don't really know what sushi and sashimi are, and they can't figure out how to say them.
That's pretty good. What's worse, rare beef or sashimi? 855-752-4842. 855-752-4842. This is fantastic. Brett, listening in Brown Deer via WAUK out of Milwaukee. Brett in Brown Deer says, quote, beef is better. I don't eat out of the bait bucket. I think that's pretty good.
I also think that's good and funny. But also, I do want to say sushi and sashimi, or if you're in the show Letterkenny, shusis and sashimis, it's not the same kind of fish. It's
okay. Yeah, because, I mean, some of this sushi, sashimi, what is it? She sells by the seashore. Sashimi. No, it's sashiyu.
Maybe.
Isn't sashimi? Isn't he a relief pitcher for the Dodgers? By the way, but some of it's very like tuna, whatever. Some of this stuff is like hundreds of dollars a pound when you get it from Japan and whatnot.
It can be, yeah. Although I've not had any of that.
I was going to say, what's the most expensive sashimi or sushi you've ever had? I'm not asking for a price, but like where at?
I don't remember exactly where. There are a couple of places. The one I remember most the one I remember the name of is Katsuya in Appleton.
All right.
And I feel like you can get a pretty wide range. Like you could get a sushi roll there for like $8, or you could get a fancy one for like $25.
Whoa, $25 for one egg roll? You said no.
Well, a roll of sushi.
Oh, a roll of sushi. Did that include? Was that with or without seaweed? With seaweed, because I think you're at Shawano Lake. You can get seaweed for nothing, and you just wrap up your fish, and you're good to go. I think I get a deal at Shawano.
Maybe not the same kind of seaweed.
Catherine, listening in Saukville on WAUK. Catherine says both are disgusting. Rare beef or sashimi. 855-752-4842. 855-752-4842. Zommers, what's worse?
For me, I will qualify this with the picture we have here shows rare beef that is basically just the cow. Like, I mean, there's a little bit of brown on some of it, but it's basically just red and bleeding all over the bun. And what is? Not to say that there's anything wrong with that, of course. I only say that to say I have not had beef that rare, that close to raw. So, with that caveat, I will say that rare beef is worse, but I never know. It could be amazing that I just haven't had. So I feel like sashimi and sushi, like we not enough of us try it. And I think if you give it a shot, it's very good.
All right, this is not even close for me. It's not even the same ballpark. It takes me less than a half a second to get my answer. Sashimi is much worse.
Well, the thing is, I haven't had beef that rare. You don't even know what sashimi is.
It's tender. It's very high, and you can tell it's high-end beef that's been slivered off, and it's because you could taste the quality of. It's like here. I got the hat on today. It's Joe Thomas's Hall of Fame beef. That's what it is. It's like Wagyu beef.
Well, that's the same. Maybe than that picture. I don't know, but that's the same thing with sashimi. Is it's very high-end fish sliced very thin. So they're very similar.
All right, I'll give you. You know what? That's the most salient point or argument you made so far for this thing, is that I've never had that high-end fish before. So maybe I'd like it. I'll give you that.
Sometime, I think you should give it a shot.
Well, give it. You know what I can't do is the sake. I got gout one time from sake. No sake for Toddy. I'm telling you that right now. Not much at all. I had like a little glass of sake. I went out with some people, some friends years ago, got gout. Terrible. You don't want and my big toe. I was working at I was managing the Tilted Kilt at the time. And so I was hauling around kegs, in the beer room, and I used to use my right foot to kind of move them around. And I thought, well, I've dropped a keg, I've cracked a bone. I couldn't even walk on it. But no, I didn't crack a bone. It was gout brought on by sake.
There's no way that was it.
Yeah, the doctor said. Well, who am I to argue with the doctor's hours? I don't have a medical degree. So you eat sashimi, that leads to sake, which leads to gout. Nobody got gout from eating beef.
Just don't drink the sake. Get some Sapporo instead, which is a Japanese beer.
All right, this is going nowhere.
Yeah, it is going nowhere, especially since Elon Musk decided that there was no more talk about rare beef or sashimi. Anyway, Todd should be back shortly. But that pretty much wraps up today's edition of What's Worse, since we don't have very much time left to talk about.
Ted, are you there?
Oh no, I just wrapped up What's Worse because you dropped off the Elon canceled you.
The problem is too many people are eating sashimi up here, and that's why the phone lines are bad, or the satellite lines. I don't know. All right, we're going to come back. We're going to talk a little bit about canceling comedians. David Cross slams Bill Burr and other well-known comedian and comedians for performing in Saudi Arabia at Riyadh. Are left-leaning comedians speaking out of both sides of their mouth? And are they eating sashimi when they say it? We'll discuss that and more on the other side. Don't go anywhere. It's the Todd Allbaugh Show live on location in Shawano. Stay tuned. Pam Yonke, Midwest Farm Report News starts now on the Civic Media Radio Network.
Elon's sure giving a lot more trouble today.
I know. I don't know what's going on. I don't know. I don't know. I can only do it. Thank God we only have an hour or a half hour left.
92.7 WMDX.
The time you cut out worked perfectly, though, because you said, this isn't going anywhere. And I said, that's right, especially because Elon decided this segment was over and cut off Todd.
I'm Ben Jarbo with the Midwest Farm Report, and Katie Burgess, a dairy market analyst with Everag, is here to share some of that.
I still have Legalize It ready if you...
Yeah, let's come back with that. Let's go back with that, please.
At CHS, we know what it takes to feed and fuel the world, to integrate a global ag and energy supply chain, to advocate for farmers in their fields and around the world.
Sorry I didn't see those calls
in
until we got too late there.
Rural economies. It takes courage, conviction, commitment.
So there's nobody on the phone line? Is that correct, Summers?
Leading farmer-owned cooperative. It takes a co-op. It takes CHS.
Now let's see what domestic dairy demand is looking like.
The tone around domestic demand for cheese is still lackluster. I mean, just this week I have heard a few better notes, but overall this year domestic demand has been soft. I think that consumers are always looking for value.
Ted at least is still on the line if you do want to.
Sure, yeah, Ted. What
else did you say while I was checking that?
I don't know. I'm not sure. All right, Ted. We'll take. Is Ted on for What's Worse?
Yeah, and I'll check. You want me to check on Ali and Jack as well, see if they're still there?
Yeah, that's fine. Goes into their cart, and sometimes that means some dairy products don't make it in.
Katie Burgess, a dairy market analyst with Everag, joining us. I'm Ben Jarbo with the Midwest Farm Report, and we'll see how the markets are moving right after this.
Unique farming operations need unique financial solutions. Egg Country Farm
Ollie's still there, Jack is not.
Offers customized
All right, we'll go to Ollie. We can still play the Legalize It coming in. We'll go to Ollie, and we got a couple of texts too.
Land, equipment, facilities, or maybe even an operating loan. Contact the team at Egg Country. They know agriculture and will work for you. Egg Country. Focused on ag, focused on you. Egg Country is an equal opportunity lender.
Welcome back. I'm Ben Jarbo with the Midwest Farm Report. Now let's see how the markets closed on this Thursday. Everything is moving in a mostly upwards direction, with cash and new crop corn up 5 1/4 at 421 3/4, with cash and new crop soybeans seeing a bigger gain, up 10 3/4 at 1023 3/4, and December wheat is up 5 1/2 at 514 3/4. Taking a look at classic milk, it's a bit mixed, with November contracts down 12 cents at 17.28 a hundredweight.
Oh no,
and December contracts
that's right.
Up
The
2
most
cents
expensive
at
place I went for
17.49 a
sushi was
hundredweight.
Red.
40
I don't remember what it stands for.
Oh, I remember that. Yeah.
Here in town.
I remember Red.
177.5, and butter closed up
I had
2.5
a
at 175.
date scheduled there with
Giving you a
somebody
look
who
at
then
your
texted me and
markets
was like, "Yeah, I'm not
from
coming."
the
I'm like,
Midwest
"Well,
Farm Report, World Dairy Expo.
and I didn't.
I'm Ben
It was the
Jarbo.
second time it had happened, and then I stopped talking to that person. So then I invited some friends to come meet me out instead. I was like, "I have a reservation and I want to try it." So
all right, well there you go. You made the best of it.
I'm
It was very good.
Rodney
It was also
Price.
very
Mostly sunny sky here for our Thursday afternoon. A southerly breeze and highs of the lower 80s. Tonight, nice and mild, lower 60s with mostly clear skies. Friday promises to be warmer with sunshine and upper 80s could tie some records. Currently 80 degrees.
No fear here, just monster savings at Verlo Mattress of Madison. This October, the only thing creeping near your bed is a deal too good to miss. We custom make every mattress so you know exactly what's inside. No tricks, just treats. Save hundreds on mattresses, foundations, headboards, sheets, and more. Monster savings at Verlo
Oh, I
Mattress
forgot
of
to tell you
Madison. Upgrade your
yesterday,
bedroom and
Mary
unleash the
Barr
sleep
sent me a
of your
message.
dreams. American-made, locally crafted.
She said, quick
Verlo.
update.
Hurry
Thanks to
in
you and
before
Todd,
these
Kira
monster
Saban came through for me today after my first guest had to
Mattress
cancel.
of
Thank you.
Madison.
P.S.
Wow, that's really
Kira
cool.
wants Todd to take all of us to Harvey House.
No, now Kira's inviting friends. Is that it?
Apparently, yes. I forgot to tell you that
Oh,
yesterday.
Kira. I love it.
Who's eating that? I don't know.
There's
You have a
that.
gourmet
All right, thank you.
recipe at home. You're not making cocktail weenies. You're certainly not eating them when you go to the Chinese buffet.
Legalize it. Don't criticize it. Legalize it, yeah.
Welcome back, man, to our little pad here in Shawano, Wisconsin. It's a very chill toddy. Welcome back to the Todd Allbaugh Show on the Civic Media Radio Network. We're live on location for beautiful Shawano. Getaway day as soon as the show is over. Packing up, hit the road, back down. I'm going to be at the old home studio at the world headquarters tomorrow. But glad to be up here for a couple of days in beautiful Shawano. Little legalize it. Now, I always thought, I don't know why. I thought that Bob Marley sang that, but Zommers, you corrected me. Who sings that that song?
Peter Tosh.
Peter Tosh. Peter Tosh sings it. Very pertinent. We're going to talk about this in a couple of minutes here. A group of people that you would not normally think are behind legalizing weed, to a degree, are now on board. We're going to tell you who it is in just a minute. But first of all, a couple of pieces of business that we got to get out of the way. We are right smack dab in the middle of our green and gold text to win multi-state contest. Up for grabs, $200 cold hard green cash. Also gold jewelry and gold jewelry. And that's just for today. Now, everybody who enters gets to a chance to win the grand prize. 2 club-level indoor seats to Green Bay versus Minnesota for a home game on November 23rd at 12 noon. Plus, they get you a gas card to get you to the game. How you get home is up to you. No, it's not true. I mean, as long it's one gas card wherever you're driving to. I don't know. Anyway, it's a prize value package worth $1,550. It can be yours if the price is right. No, you just have to text in, and the word to text in to participate on the. You have to text in on the Civic Media app, or as Johnny Depp said in the great movie, via the app. I love that. I love that movie. Via the app. The word is club. The word is club. C-L-U-B. Don't be like those goofballs that club a seal. Club. C-L-U-B. That's not a nice way to use that word. How about a great sandwich is a club sandwich. C-L-U-B. The word is club. Text in right now for the green and gold multi-state contest. Also, wrapping up our What's Worse today, rare beef or sashimi. Calling in to get in the last entry of the day, Ollie in the North Woods. Ollie, rare beef or sashimi, what's worse?
Well, I think the raw fish would be worse.
Yeah.
It's worse for your gout. I can
Really?
definitely tell you that.
Raw fish is worse for the gout. See, I was right, some.
Yeah, lots of fish, even shrimp, can cause gout.
Really?
And a lot of people do eat raw beef because they have steak tartare.
Right.
Or how many people take and eat raw hamburger. A lot of people, I know, I had an uncle who used to eat raw hamburger sandwiches with just some onions and lots of black pepper on it. So
It's a Wisconsin thing.
a lot of, yep. So definitely steak tartare is a very expensive thing to have too. So
Right. All right. Well, I appreciate.
I also just wanted to say one other thing. I have forwarded that information about the federal agents in the south side of Chicago, and a friend texted me back, and she said that one of her friends had her Instagram account shut down for sharing this on a thread.
Really? Wow.
Really? So
That's,
I thought you might.
I believe you.
that.
I'm stuff like this still just takes. I get taken aback by it because in the United States of America, to think that you're going to get shut down on your social media account for sharing the truth is just surreal. Right, and it's surreal and scary, all at the same time.
Yes, it is.
Yeah. Well, appreciate your doing your part.
I know you're busy.
No, I appreciate it. Always great to catch up, Ollie. Thank you so much. Ollie in the North Woods. Fantastic. All right, let's get to this story.
And then we also have Ted in Appleton.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't know Ted was on the line. All right, Ted in Appleton doing the Lord's work down there on the tarmacs at the Appleton airport. Ted, rare beef or sashimi, what's worse?
Sashimi. Coming from a guy who eats cow tongue.
Yes.
Yeah. Nothing better than a good cannibal sandwich. A sliced onion, good raw meat on rye bread. That's to die for.
you can get it at your local diner under the Ed Gein special. So there you go.
Exactly.
Thanks, Ted.
Appreciate near Plainfield.
Did you really? Oh my gosh, that's a whole nother kettle of fish, or not.
That's right.
All right, thanks, Ted. Appreciate it. Have a good day. All right, let's get to this, Summers. And this surprised me a little bit. I guess it wasn't a surprise, but it was unexpected. Again, from WISN Channel 12 in Milwaukee, Wisconsin GOP lawmakers introduce a bill to legalize marijuana. Dateline Madison Republican state lawmakers introduced a bill on Monday to legalize medical marijuana after previous attempts to legalize the drug for medicinal use failed. The new bill, sponsored by State Senators Patrick Testin, Republican of Stevens Point, Senate President Mary Fleskowski, Republican of Tomahawk, and State Representative Patrick Snyder, Republican of Weston, requires patients to have a doctor's diagnosis and register through a new state office. Quote, the position on cannabis has changed dramatically in the last several years, unquote, Testin said. Like previous attempts to legalize medicinal cannabis, patients must have a doctor's diagnosis of a serious medical condition like cancer, multiple sclerosis, PTSD, IBS, Parkinson's, or severe chronic pain to access medical cannabis. They then must register with the new Office of Medical Cannabis Regulation. The office would also oversee licensing for cannabis growers, processors, and testers. Testin said, we want to allow private industry to come in here. There are companies all across the country who have been very effective and impactful on delivering medical cannabis to patients, Testin said. 2024 attempt by Assembly Republicans spearheaded by Speaker Robin Vos proposed state-run dispensaries, but the bill did not gain Senate support. Quote, dead is a strong word. I think it's unlikely it's going to pass this session, unfortunately, Robin Vos told reporters last year. The latest bill this year, sponsors hope that by keeping some of the restrictions from last session's legislation, but opening production up to the private sector, they'll gain more support. Snyder said, quote, I just know my road in the assembly will be challenging, unquote. Under the new bill, patients could ingest medical marijuana through oils, edibles, vapors, otherwise, but it would not be allowed to be smoked, All right. Governor Tony Evers proposed legalizing recreational marijuana in his last budget, but Republican lawmakers quickly dismissed the idea. Wisconsin remains virtually an island in the Midwest, with all surrounding states legalizing some form of medical or recreational use. Current medical marijuana is legal in 40 states, and 25 of those also allowing recreational use. What do you think, Summers? I mean, look, I had no problem with, certainly not for medical reasons, legalizing it. And I don't have a real problem for recreational. In fact, I wish it was legalized and then you had regulation on it. Because, I mean,
instead of this random Delta crap that you don't know what's in it.
Right. Well, I mean, and we are the world headquarters of Civic Media right down there on State Street. I've lost track now. How many dispensaries are on State Street? At least 5, wouldn't you say? Maybe 6?
That's probably shooting low.
That's probably shooting low. I mean, you could get a contact high just by walking on State Street these days.
Oh, some days, some evenings, certainly, yeah.
And
the most interesting thing you said to me was that serious condition that could qualify as IBS, irritable bowel syndrome. I'm going to need to do some research because if that can help, maybe I have a case.
There you go. You could, but also, don't you also think that people who currently in Wisconsin who can benefit by marijuana for medical reasons, don't you think that most of them are probably just already going to Illinois or Michigan or Minnesota? They're just going across the border, aren't they?
Oh yeah.
I mean,
in all seriousness,
Yeah.
this just seems like a smart economic move because people who need it or people who want it can get it so easily, and it's putting so much money into other states' government's pockets.
Right. And I think that if you read that story at WISN there, as we just did, at least part of it, I think you're exactly right that Republicans are going, hey, we want to make sure the private business person gets something out of this. Well, now we're talking. Now we can do this. And of course, in fairness, Democrats have been proposing this for years. And in my opinion, they've used it as a campaign issue, they tried to make medical and recreational marijuana a major campaign plank, and we saw in 2024, at least in Wisconsin, many of the people that are in support of legalizing marijuana ended up voting for Donald Trump. So I'm not sure that
doesn't make sense.
I'm not really sure how that's working for them. So I don't know that it's a major campaign issue. I just don't buy that line of thinking, but I think it is something that Democrats have led the way on, and now Republicans, I think from pressure, people's opinions are changing on it in general, and the fact that this economic impact from other states, I think Republican lawmakers are saying, hey, we want to get in on this deal. So look, I hope once again, maybe for 2 days in a row, Zommers. Yesterday it was Representative Ahmad Rivera-Wagner's housing bill, which again is fantastic. He got bipartisan support to help housing in Wisconsin. Hopefully that passes. Now maybe here today there is at least a start, because my feeling on this is once and if that Republicans get religion on this and pass the medical side, I don't think it'll be long until they're like, well, okay, that nothing terrible happened, so now let's just go ahead like almost every other state and legalize the recreational side. And I think,
agree.
Go ahead.
I agree, especially because if it's legal medically in more places, that only means more research is going to come out about, ways that it can harm and help people.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And especially like in Madison, where they've all but legalized it. They've made it basically there's no penalty for having marijuana in Madison right now, but which I'm fine. I don't think people should go to jail for having a joint on them. That's very different, in my opinion, than selling this stuff in large quantities unregulated. I think it's better to legalize it, regulate it. And then places like Madison say, hey, you get one really nice dispensary at the top of State Street and one really nice dispensary at the bottom of State Street, and make it like a liquor license. I mean, in Madison, you got to pay $10,000 to get a liquor license in some places. So make some revenue off of it, right? Don't have all of these mom and pop dispensaries where you don't know what's going on, to Zomer's point. All right, we're going to come back, wrap things up here from Shawano, Wisconsin. YouTube is paying the Trumpster $24.5 million. We'll give you details on it after this on the Civic Media Radio Network.
Don't criticize it.
Johnson as a fish fry on a Friday night. This is the Civic Media Radio Network.
Commercial break. Last one.
Why are interscholastic sports called the last classroom
What
of the
other
day?
stuff did you tease that we need to talk about?
We got to talk about the David Cross thing, and we got to talk to you about YouTube.
School sports are so much more than a game. They're about developing the whole person.
And how about we go out today with, if you want to be a Badger?
Encourage your student to participate
Sounds
in
good.
the last classroom of the day. Interscholastic sports in Wisconsin. This message presented by the WIAA and the Wisconsin Athletic Directors Association.
Keeping you connected to your local community with real news and great conversation. Here's Terry Barr with the Civic Media Radio Network.
If you want to be a Badger, well, come along. Shine a light on the moon. Ba, ba, ba.
But have you ever thought about camping on a farm? There is a push to make a new law allowing farmers to host up to 3 paying campers without a license. Supporters say it's needed to help diversify their incomes.
To allow people to put a tent up in a pasture and experience stargazing, stay overnight in the pasture, and have rustic camping when they're overnight for 5 days. Pick up the eggs in the morning, have a farm breakfast.
That's Sheila Everhart with the Wisconsin Agricultural Tourism Association. You can learn more, including where to go this fall, at the website wiagtourism.com. Until next time, I'm Terry Barr.
Students come and go, but Madison wisdom stays forever. We're a city that never
Now, come here,
stops
look, Mary. You
learning,
can see the shot.
questioning,
You can see the shot of the garden here.
Whether you're a
You can see the
longtime
shot
local
of the garden. Your
or
garden looks
transplant who fell
fantastic
in
on the
love with our
screen.
lakes. 92.7
Got the
WMDX
garden
is your
there.
connection to the conversations
Looks
that
very
shape
nice.
our extraordinary community. Tune in and take part, because
What?
Madison always has something to say. This
Yeah.
is WMDX.
Get ready to go for the green and gold on this local Civic Media radio station. Listen each weekday for the keywords to text for your chance to win our daily prize, $200 cash and gold jewelry. And be entered to win our grand prize, 2 level seats to see the green and gold take on Minnesota in Green Bay. Just download our free Civic Media app and listen weekdays at 7, 9, 11, 1, 3, 5, and 7 for your chance to win in our multi-state contest. For complete rules, go to civicmedia.us.
Seems like nobody in America agrees on much of anything these days.
But can we agree the federal government shouldn't tax people into poverty?
If you work full-time, you should be able to afford your basic
30
needs.
seconds.
Don't you think?
Gracias.
The patriotic millionaires.
We believe your full-time job should cover what it costs to live.
If you want to be a Badger, come along with us. We're live on location in beautiful Shawano, Wisconsin. Bucky back there in the background. Many thanks to stepmother Mary for planting this beautiful garden just for our show, providing the pumpkins. We appreciate that. Thank you, Mary. It's beautiful. Well done. Dad and Mary are we have a studio audience, Summers. There you go. It's fantastic here in beautiful Shawano. We're gonna be back in the Madison studios tomorrow, so looking forward to that. And tomorrow.
Oh, it's just the studio audience. The studio audience changed their minds.
Back in the studios tomorrow, and looking forward to this. Our friend and really colleague at Civic Media, the director of the Midwest Farm Report, Pam Yonke, is going to be here. Farm Director Pam Yankee. The World Dairy Expo going on down at the Dane County Coliseum and Alliant Energy Center this week. Really important event. It gives Wisconsin international exposure. So Pam Yankee will join us tomorrow at 30, talking World Dairy Expo. Also ask her a little bit about the Trump trade tariffs, what this is doing for Wisconsin soybean farmers, and also we'll ask her about the rumors that Pam Yankee is up for new defensive coordinator of the Green Bay Packers. So that'll be a lot of fun. Looking forward to Pam Yankee tomorrow on the show. Coming up at the top of this hour, by the way, it's Bucky Badger's 85th birthday today. Happy birthday to Bucky Badger. Also, coming up at 4 o'clock, ABC, CBS News check of weather. Mike Clemens, our great sports reporter with sports. Another edition of the Maggie Dawn Show, followed by another edition of Nightlight with Pete Schwaba. Each of them will have a new word for you. You have about 6 minutes to text in our hour for the green and gold multi-state text-to-win contest to win $200 cash gold jewelry today, and then be eligible for our grand prize of 2 club-level indoor seats to Green Bay versus Minnesota on November 23rd. And the key word, speaking of, is club. Text the word club, C-L-U-B as a boy. Club is the word to text in. You have until 4 o'clock to do it, and then Maggie and Pete will have more words for you later on this broadcast day. Chris in Janesville, listening on WMDX, says, how about club seats? I was trying to use it in a sentence. And you're absolutely right, Chris. See, you should be sitting in this chair. So, club seats. All right, let's get to a couple of things here quickly. A couple of stories I wanted to cover here before we got to get on out of here for the afternoon. First of all, this from The Hill. YouTube has agreed to pay $24.5 million to settle a lawsuit President Trump brought in 2021 over the company's suspension of his account in the aftermath of the January 6, 2021 attack on the U.S. Capitol, according to court filings on Monday. Under the terms of the agreement, get this, $22 million would go to Trump, who has directed the funds to be contributed to the Trust for the National Mall to support the construction of the White House State Ballroom. That's right, the Trump Ballroom is going to be paid for by YouTube at the cost of $22 million. So how do you like that? As the song says, another one bites the dust, another media company politically genuflects to Donald Trump, $22.5 million, so Trump can have a new ballroom for Melania. So, there's that happening,
For Melania? It's for him.
Well, for both of them. So that's going on. I want to get to this one quickly on a slightly more serious note. Out of Variety. Remember that magazine, Variety, Variety.com? The comedian David Cross released a fiery statement on his website Monday condemning the comedians who agreed to perform at Saudi Arabia's Riyadh Comedy Festival. Quote, I'm disgusted and deeply disappointed in this whole gross thing, Cross wrote, that people I admire with unarguable talent would condone this totalitarian fiefdom for what, a fourth house? A boat? More sneakers? He continued, we can never again take seriously anything these comedians complain about, unless it's complaining that we don't support enough torture and mass execution of journalists and LGBTQ peace activists here in the States, or that we don't terrorize enough Americans by flying planes into our buildings, unquote. Cross went on to call out specific names in the lineup, including comedy giants Dave Chappelle, Louis C.K., and Bill Burr, amongst others, who performed at this event in Riyadh. Also there, comedian Kevin Hart, Pete Davidson, Russell Peters, Gabriel Iglesias, Wayne Brady, Jeff Ross, Tom Segura, and Hannibal Buress, all competing for the Crown Prince in Riyadh. What do you think about that, Sommers?
I say that David Cross's words were pretty harsh, and honestly, they could have been harsher, and I would still agree.
I still agree. So there you go. I think have we gotten through all of the notes we wanted to get through today on a big show? We got through a lot. That was good. Bucky Badger celebrating his 85th birthday, and the word this hour to text in, a minute left to go. Club, C-L-U-B, club. Text in the word club to be eligible for the green and gold multi-state contest. Going to find out tomorrow or later on this afternoon who the Brewers will be playing in the National League Divisional Series on Saturday. Cubs and Padres underway in about 5 minutes. We'll see who the Brewer crew gets on Saturday at AmFam Field. Many thanks to Aaron Zommers doing the work back at the World Headquarters in Madison. Also, thanks here to Dad and Mary and Mike for helping out up here in Shawano, Wisconsin. We'll be back at the old World Headquarters in Madison tomorrow. Pam Yonke, our guest at 2:35. Don't miss that. Get out, have a beer, celebrate Bucky Badger's 85th birthday. And don't forget, Wisconsin men's basketball is right around the corner. We'll see you tomorrow in Madison. Whatever you're fighting for, whatever you believe in, do not give up. Keep banging your drum. Stay tuned. Maggie Dawn is next. See you later.
Adios, everybody.
Thank you, everybody. See you tomorrow. Bye-bye.